Hello and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm ICIS. It's being hailed as a game-changing discovery that could drastically reduce Turkey's dependence on foreign energy, which cost $40 billion last year. And if the detection of natural gas in the Black Sea proves larger than currently known, the financial windfall could be enormous. While hopes are high, it could still take some time to get the lucrative resource online. Let's take a look at this report.
Türkiye tarihinin en büyük doğalgaz keşfini Karadeniz'de gerçekleştirdi.
And joining from London, we have Sabadus, who is a senior energy reporter specializing in Turkish and Eastern European gas markets for ICIS, a global energy data and news provider, and Filiz Katman, who is an assistant professor of political science and international relations at Istanbul Aydin University. She is also the head of the Energy Politics and Markets Research Center. Ladies, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Tell us about the significance of the latest gas discovery in the Black Sea. What does it mean for Turkey strategically and technically?
It's certainly a big discovery, and it's a very important one, and it puts Turkey on the map of big producers, as well as the Black Sea. In recent years, we've had a couple of discoveries in the Black Sea. I would mention here the Neptune block in Romania, offshore the Romanian coast. Certainly not as big as the Turkish discovery. It's estimated that anything between 42 to 80 billion cubic meters, so much less than the recent Turkish discovery. For Turkey, it's certainly an important discovery, as I said, because Turkey has been importing a lot of natural gas. In fact, as far as I understand, 99% of Turkish gas needs have been covered from imports. This discovery will certainly cover Turkish demand, probably for the next 5 to 6 years, single-handedly. But in the longer term, I would say that Turkey needs to pay attention to what's been happening in neighboring countries, particularly in Romania, where this discovery was mainly used for political reasons, rather than from a commercial point of view. So Turkey needs to understand that this gas needs to be monetized, either to cover local demand or maybe for exports, part of it. And of course, this is a time when gas prices are quite cheap. So exploring it will be expensive, selling it will be cheap. So Turkey needs really to consider what will be done with this gas and under what conditions.
Yeah, so President Erdogan promised that the gas could reach to Turkish consumers by 2023. Is it doable? And I just mentioned what kind of an impact it would have on Turkey's current account deficit, because we spend like $41 billion on energy imports every year.
So this discovery has not happened all of a sudden. Since 2015, Turkey has been planning to explore the the resources that Turkey has. So this is the statement made in 2015-2019 strategic plan, where we also contributed as the research center at Istanbul Aydin University. So based on that plan, this discovery was not a surprise for me. So planning process has already been done, in which conditions it will be utilized and where it will be kept. Turkey has been planning to become an energy trade research energy trade center, specifically for natural gas. So we have storage houses that Turkey has done. So this one can be kept for further reasons. So it is doable in that manner, and it will definitely contribute to the energy supply security of Turkey.
So yeah, energy security is one of the fundamental pillars in foreign policy, cooperation and rivalries. Does this discovery give Turkey a negotiating leverage with Russia, Iran and other energy suppliers, aura, with which it will have to renew deals in the coming years? What's your take on that?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, there are a couple of contracts, both held by Potash and by private importers, that are up for renewal from next year, so they will expire. And could in theory be renewed. But this is definitely is strengthening Turkey's hand in negotiations. In fact, Turkey has played a very intelligent card this year and the year before, buying a lot of LNG at a time when LNG prices have been falling. So it has been showing that it has options. Of course, there are other issues that need to be negotiated in these contracts, and it's not just price, it's also take or pay, which has been quite burdensome for Potash and for private importers, as well as the so-called destination clause, which means that Turkey cannot re-export the gas that it imports. To my knowledge, no other European country has this destination clause in import contracts, in long-term contracts, so Turkey really needs to get rid of that, because Turkey needs a lot of flexibility right now, and not just in terms of price, but in terms of other clauses that will allow it to export, to import, and so forth.
So what kind of sectoral and political ramifications could this latest discovery, Filiz, have on Turkey-Russia relations? Will they be impacted negatively, or can Russia stand out as a potential partner?
The recent attempts by Russia, including the Turk Stream offer to Turkey, has targeted to keep Turkey in its partnership, especially with regard to energy. But in order to accomplish the energy supply security, Turkey tries to decrease the dependency on other countries. So if we look at the numbers, the amounts taken from Russian and Iranian natural gas, the numbers are decreasing.
Yes.
So, in order to fulfill this decreasing amount, we have Turk Stream 2, which is offered again to Turkey by Russia. So, Russia tries to keep Turkey in its partnership scope, but Turkey also would like to keep good relations with Russia. We have very deepened relations with Russia. It is not only energy, it is only one pillar of the relationship between the two countries, but accomplishing energy trade center vision, Russia will also try to benefit from this goal.
Yes.
And it will definitely contribute to the relations.
Yeah, we know that Russia wants to keep Europeans dependent on its resources. So Aura, is the Turk Stream pipeline, which will transport natural gas to Europe, be affected by any means?
I don't think it will be affected by this latest discovery. I think the Russians will try to continue selling natural gas through Turk Stream 2. In fact, there are a couple of countries regionally that still depend on it. For example, Bulgaria and Greece. And we know that recently Gazprom even signed a new contract with a Greek company to increase the exports of pipeline gas to Greece. I think the key here is Turkey to be clever and able enough to play all its assets.
Yes, you just mentioned Romania in the beginning of our conversation. So is there potential for improved cross-border cooperation since the Black Sea is not as disputed as the Eastern Mediterranean? And why Romania?
In terms of gas, you mean?
Yes.
Improving?
Yes.
Well, I suppose there is, yes. I mean, there is a pipeline that has traditionally linked the whole region, and this is the Trans-Balkan pipeline. In Turkey is known the Western Line, which comes from Ukraine and travels down through Republic of Moldova, Romania, Bulgaria, and splits. Part of it goes into Turkey, part of it goes into Greece. Now, this pipeline is almost empty right now because most of the gas has been diverted to Turk Stream 2 and Turk Stream 1, and could be used, in fact, by regional countries to export. We've seen already a Ukrainian company which has started imports of gas sourced in Greece back into Ukraine. The same could happen with Turkey. I mean, all it takes is for Turkey to open up its borders and to understand that Turkey is part of this region and to be able to integrate with this region. So this pipeline is readily available. It really is down to Turkey to decide whether it wants to cooperate or not.
So, Filiz, what would it mean for Europe to have Turkey as an important energy exporter?
Turkish-European relations have been going through some troubles, but Europe is already aware that Turkey plays a vital role in the decreasing the dependence on Russian energy resources. So TANAP, Trans-Anatolian Pipeline, and also TAP, which is the continuation of TANAP, is one source to decrease the dependency, which passes through Turkey to Europe. And we have also the so famous Eastern Mediterranean reserves. So the recent trouble between Turkey and European countries are mainly based on the trouble to get rid of the Russian dependency.
Yes.
So these two parts will definitely play a role. But in order to continue the relations in a friendly manner, Turkey should definitely use smart power.
Yeah, we'll see how things and tensions will play out in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Ladies, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk. It's been 19 years since the founding of Turkey's ruling AK Party. Over its nearly two-decade history, the AK Party has guided Turkey through a tumultuous era that saw multiple wars on its doorstep, economic reforms, and a failed coup that changed the nation forever. To get a better understanding of how Turkey has fared under the leadership of the AK Party, I'm joined by the co-editors of the book, AK Party Years in Turkey, Domestic and Foreign Policy, Burhanettin Duran and Kilic Kanat. Mr. Duran is the General Coordinator of SETA Foundation and a professor at Haldun University, and Kilic Kanat is a Research Director at the SETA Foundation's Washington, D.C. branch and an Associate Professor of Political Science at Penn State University. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Burhanettin, there are lots of books on AK Party. Tell us why you needed to write this kind of a book on AK Party years, why it is different than the other publications.
Yeah, there are many books on AK parties because, AK Party is a controversial political actor because of its long years of power. But Kilic and me realized that there are many books, but many of them are based on some pejorative understanding, even some neo-Orientalist understanding of depicting, stigmatizing, stereotyping AK Party as authoritarian or dictatorship. But the reality, since 2001, through 15 elections, AK Party is in power and AK Party is able to change Turkey in the last 2 decades. So what is the reason for this success? What are the sources of this success? Then we have examine the basic policies and ideological transformation and pragmatic leadership by President Erdogan. So we have discovered that this is not the story just about competitive authoritarianism or something like that. It is the true power of AK Party to appeal to people and to change its policies on time when they realize that there's a mistake, something wrong here, and they change their policies and they adapt to realities of world politics.
Throughout those years, AK Party governments, successive governments, have faced several crises. Let's say 2007 presidential elections, as well as July 15th failed coup attempt. Could you just elaborate on us how Turkey and AK Party managed to pull that off dangers throughout those years?
So actually, even in the first year of AK Party, there was a crisis in the region. So US invasion of Iraq. And following that, the invasion continued. And after 10 years, Arab Spring started. So in the region, there were challenges and opportunities for AK Party. And in domestically, there were multiple challenges. This was a tutelary regime. So both some segments of the military and judiciary tried to overthrow AK Party.
Yes.
And this was a pattern that came all over the years since the establishment of this republic. And since then, there were multiple coups and coup attempts. But the one thing I think AK Party achieved is the people's will. So it was very much connected to the people. And each and every time when there is a crisis or when there is a coup attempt or e-memorandum type of postmodern coup, something comes up, immediately there was a referendum or there was an election, and AK Party basically told those elements of tutelary regime, let's go to the election, let's ask the people, let's see what these people want. And we see that in 2007, after July 15 coup attempt, there was always a people's will behind the democratically elected governments. And the people in Turkey didn't want to change the process of democratization in Turkey. That started with the 2001 European Union reform packages and everything.
Does Turkey still maintain its EU vision?
Well, yes, but we should ask another one. Does the EU has such a vision? As you know, since 2007, Turkey is trying to continue in this way. But still, we know that there is a policy change. There is a policy of government in France and Germany that they are not eager to accept Turkey as a member. So, but something is certain that Turkey places itself on the critical shaping role of Europe. And Turkey knows that economically, strategically, and politically, Turkey is a part of Europe. But at the same time, this should not be considered as a passive role, passive part of Europe. You know, there are many challenges in today's world politics, and Turkey is ready to accept them, to face them, these challenges.
And engage in dialogues, maybe?
That's why Turkey is following an assertive foreign policy in Syria, in Iraq, in Libya, and in the Eastern Mediterranean basin.
Is it because of Syria, Libya, fight against the PKK, for example, the reason why some Western countries choose to describe Turkish politics as neo-Ottoman or expansionist?
Yes, it's certainly, but I have to underline something that Turkey, well, is the last actor to be involved in Syria, to be last actor to be involved in Iraq and in the Eastern Mediterranean basin. Turkey is trying to protect its national interests, certainly, but this is not a extensionism or the expansionism. This is not a dream of imperialism or something like that, neo-Ottomanism or Islamism. It's just a pursuit of national policies, national interest, like the other states are trying to do. And Turkey is ready for this, for diplomacy, but at the same time, when it is necessary, Turkey is again ready to assert some hard power on the table.
So what are the main challenges, in your opinion, lie ahead of Turkey?
Well, there are domestic challenges, and there are, of course, the foreign policy challenges. I think one of the most significant one is in regards to the U.S. foreign policy. and there is so many unpredictability in regards to the future of U.S. foreign policy, what they want to do in the region. And as a superpower, what U.S. does in the region creates significant risks, not only for Turkey, for all of the countries in the region. So one of them is this unpredictability, uncertainty, indecisiveness that is so much obvious in U.S. foreign policy. The second one is much more regional focused, Eastern Mediterranean. There are too many stakeholders. There are too many countries that wants to be involved in this process, and Eastern Mediterranean represents most of the countries, in Europe, and both Russia and United States, a competition ground. So they want to be present. It is almost a proxy.
Do you feel that besides the European countries, other Arab countries are joining hands against Turkey's assertive foreign policy?
Well, there have been almost a coalition, countries like Egypt, because Turkey endorsed the democratically elected government. And this is the interaction between domestic policy and foreign policy in Turkey. So when Turkey rejected a coup attempt in Turkey, this is a decision of principle. So they didn't want any kind of coup attempts or coups that would overthrow the governments. So in Egypt, the coup attempt, and normal, as a way of showing the support, never improved its diplomatic relations with the, putschists after that. And those who supported the coup, including Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, automatically become anti-Turkish. So it wasn't something that Turkey does, but what they did was not acceptable for Turkey, because for not only Turkish government and Turkish public as well, has a very principled stand, as we see in July 15 coup attempt, in regards to how the government needs to have a transition, a peaceful transition, and how democratic system needs to be abided and managed.
So, Burhanettin, why do you think some of our European friends acted reluctantly to condemn the coup attempt? And do you believe that now they have a better understanding of this FETÖ organization?
Well, still, they need something better about this, because there is such a reluctance that Turkey's position is not understood properly by Turkey's allies.
Is it Turkey's fault?
Europe and the US. Well, of course, all actors have some responsibilities, but the larger part is on the side of our Western allies, because Turkey is trying to explain what happened at that night, July 15. But since 2013, there are some problems around us because of the turbulence of our region, and our allies from Europe and Washington are not ready to understand what is really Turkey's problems and what are the challenges to Turkey. And they are reluctant in understanding Syria's problems. They just see Daesh, not anything else. But a terrorist organization is supported by the US, PKK, YPG, such a critical problem, and they need more and more enthusiasm with Turkey's problems as allies.
Kilic just previously mentioned that, Turkey-US relations have been rocky during those times. And we know that Democrats are supporting the PKK-linked YPG in northern Syria. So what kind of stance Turkey will adapt unless Trump gets reelected?
So I think it is much more complicated than the Democrats and Republicans. I think there was a lack of strategy in U.S. foreign policy in regards to Syria. So in the lack of strategy and overarching strategy, what happens is the forces that are on the ground, more tactical and operational forces, started to shape the policy through their action. So CENTCOM became the principal actor that shapes the foreign policy, and this is against the active civilian control of the military in the U.S. as well. However, they started to shape the policy by supporting YPG, by harming relations with Turkey, and there was actually a tension between the European command of the United States and Central Command in regards to future of Turkey's future of Turkey-U.S. relations. So, if the Democrats come to power, I think they need to realize one thing. It is very critical when you look at the foreign policy platform of Biden. you will see that there are some priorities improving relations with NATO. So, and the two critical points of NATO's engagement is Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean. Turkey is a major stakeholder. Turkey is a major actor within NATO. Its second priority is stabilization of Iraq, Syria, and improvement relations in Iran. And all of those countries are neighboring Turkey.
Yeah, so unfortunately, gentlemen, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk. Appreciate it a lot. And that's all for this edition of Straight Talk with me, Ayşe Süberker. If you've got any comments, follow us and tweet us at Straight Talk TRT. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.